Welcome back to the Analyst Desk. We are gearing up for Game 2 between G2 Esports and Schalke 04, and I am once again joined by Treatz and Crownshot. As you can see, Rekkles, the first man back on stage. For all the years that I've been watching Rekkles, he has always been one of the players, the last to leave stage, the first to arrive to stage, and it is still strange seeing him in person in a G2 jersey. But it is a terrifying prospect for anyone looking down the barrel of G2, even before Rekkles was on the squad. Now, we're just gearing up for picks and bans, and before we went to the break, Treatz was talking about some options he wanted to see Schalke exercise. Number one, move that mid lane option to potentially last pick, and number two, look for some easier engage. Crownshot, before we get the draft on the board, what do you want to see from Schalke? You have 10 seconds.
I want to ban the safe mid lane picks and look for a counter pick that they can pressure. 7,
Capsule. 6, 5. You nailed it. Let's see if they can find those counter picks as it's G2 taking on Schalke. We're into draft, and that was the quickest analysis Crownshot's done all weekend long. I love it. Thank you so much. Now, Schalke picked red side. I think in terms of the counter picks, I think in terms of the preferred side to achieve the goals, red side's going to be easier to do that. That's my opinion. Treatz, straight out the gate, the Thresh and the Lucian already banned away. What do you want to see change from game number 1?
I think honestly the first 3 bans are not going to change at all for either team. I think it's going to be very similar in that sense. As we can see already, it's very similar.
Yep.
I think even maybe the first 3 picks will be the same. What do you think, Crownshot? We see Lilia ban.
I mean, maybe they might actually do what they hovered last game, where they hovered top lane, but then they switched it to Xayah, you know? They might actually pick top lane on free and ban 2 top laners. Maybe they feel like the Xayah wasn't that useful. Yep.
Ooh.
Okay, so, yeah. I mean, they just feel like Kai'Sa, Alistar. I mean, I think this is not blindable in my opinion. I think there's a lot of answers G2 can do here. They can do another Gragas with a Xayah, or they can just pick Gragas Flex and pick a solo lane as well. They could also just pick Jhin. They could also, yeah, okay.
I think Gragas Xayah would be a really good answer myself.
They can also just go Gragas Xayah, right? Okay. They can do Orianna Gragas, they can do Orianna Xayah, they can do Orianna Jhin.
What you're saying here, Crownshot, is that G2 have a lot of options.
Yeah.
Treat something you may not know. Crownshot is just super hype on Jhin at the moment. He wanted to see you guys playing Jhin a lot yesterday as well. I'm hearing Jhin predictions every pick and ban, and I'm hoping it comes true. But what duo do you want to see here? There's going to be an Orianna and currently a hover on the Sion, so that's a pivot.
Yeah, I think locking in the entire top side early is not bad for G2. They have so many answers to the Kai'Sa Alistar, I think, and they're just confident in dropping 4 or 5. I think honestly they will still have a really good matchup bot, and it's going to be hard for Schalke to outdraft this.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's always better to either pick full solo lanes on 2-3 or full bot lane. I think it's bad to fracture your bot lane, right? Like,
I agree, yeah.
Because it allows enemy to ban, and I think they'll probably ban Gragas here.
Yeah, I think they're probably looking for a Gragas ban and maybe even a Rel ban. I mean, there's so many bot lanes up. There's like Xayah, Rakan, there's Rel, there's Gragas. Like, this is going to be hard for Schalke.
So excuse the dumb person in the room asking a question now, but this Sion, what are the odds of it being a flex? Because we have seen Mikyx run that support. Does it only work with Senna?
I think it only works with Senna, yeah.
I said you couldn't see Treatz's eyes. Treatz's eyes died inside as I asked that question. But we haven't seen the Gragas ban yet. It's going to be the Xayah there, Crownshot.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a Gragas ban, or they might just focus on banning out ADCs, like maybe a Jhin. But then they need to care, because if they pick another fighter on 4, then Rekkles can even just pick Vayne or something, right? He has a lot of... Oh, okay, they banned Vayne. They're probably gonna just pick like a Bruiser on 4 for BrokenBlade and look to counterpick mid, as we said before, right? I mean, counterpick mid, just look to see like last pick to the side, to give Abbedagge the most freedom possible. I'm imagining this will be Jhin from Rekkles.
Yeah, I think they might look for... What else? I think they might look for Jhin Gragas. That's something that they're really confident in. And I think, yeah, I agree with you also that BrokenBlade is probably going to pick something like Aatrox here, or just another fighter into Sion. But yeah, bot lane for G2, I think it's always going to be fine here. I think they can just choose which direction they want to go in. Like if they want to go like Rell, if they want to go Gragas. I think Jhin is an obvious answer here for Rekkles, and it's his biggest comfort pick.
Last second swap to the Zoe. So it's not going to be the last pick mid, which is something we were hoping to see. Crownshot, I heard the little snicker there as Nasus was hovered for a very brief moment. But are you disappointed to see the Zoe already? But we've got Orianna on the other side.
Yeah, I am disappointed because I think the way Schalke beat G2 is not playing Zoe comps. I think they have to play more teamfight focused outscaling comps. I think if G2 have a comp like this, then they're very solid. Like this is a very scary comp to play against.
Oh, the Darius insta-lock.
Okay, but I don't think Darius likes playing against Ashe Braum, to be fair, but we'll see, right?
Yeah, I think that's very hard for sure.
Well, we just saw Darius played in the LFL finals. Lord told us about this earlier, and as the time is running down, Crownshot, what do these team compositions want to do?
I mean, Schalke's comp doesn't make too much sense together, but they just want to like pressure early, I guess. I think G2's comp is the most controlled you can possibly get, the most classic team fight, like front to back. So I am heavily favoring G2 here, unless the Darius really pops off.
Yeah, I think unless BrokenBlade is cosplaying K-Corp Adam here, it's gonna be a hard game. I think as long as Jankos doesn't go topside and just paths around bot side and just plays a stable game, that G2 will take it easily.
I love the fact that you mentioned K-Corp Adam because it was Darius into Sion. It was a series that was a surprise 3-0 for the LFL. Now, there was some spice. It wasn't from the bottom lane like Crownshot promised me would happen, but BrokenBlade delivered. He told Law earlier today he's locked in instantly the Darius into the Sion. And it is up to Schalke to prove that they can contest the back-to-back-to-back-to-back LEC champions. G2 take on Schalke in Game 2 right now.
And into the game we go. Quick question, guys. Darius, all-time LEC, what's his scoreline?
I'm going to say 1 and 3.
Nope.
I'm going to say 4 and 5.
1 and 5.
Oh, I got one number right.
I was close.
That's good on the lottery, right?
Yeah, last time we saw it was 2018 from Cabochard. He went 5-5-3 against... he was playing for Vitality versus Schalke, actually, and he lost.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah, well, Treatz brought it up on the desk. Adam in the LFL for K-Corp was playing the Darius. It's good into tanks. I remember he was one-shotting everyone with his ultimate. It was disgusting. So this champ seems to have risen to priority with the tank top / tank support meta.
Okay.
And Adam is an innovator.
Sure. However, so I'm not a top lane main, right?
Okay.
But
you're not on anything.
In solo queue, hang on, I'm a really good Nocturne
Where's
player.
this flame coming from? Benny and I have lived in symbiosis for a long time, and you come in here and you upset the apple.
Hang on, he's fine, because I need his professional former pro experience, you know what I mean? Because he's also a top lane main, apparently.
Yeah.
But Darius, in solo queue, most of them run Ghost. The main reason they run Ghost is because they have an issue with kiting, right? But against a Braum Ashe, I feel like that is just a nightmare for a Darius to play against.
I hope he's got tenacity in his runes. I hope he builds Merc Treads, and then I hope Rekkles has no flash. And then he should be able to get them. But we'll have to wait and see what happens first, because they have got the Alistar for first engage. Then maybe he can be the follow-up. Yeah, the reason Darius has run Ghost in solo queue is for the gap close. It's very, it catches you off guard a lot, the Darius. With the Ghost level 1, he can actually get a solo kill with the amount of damage he has from his passive.
Limit just flashed in there.
He likes to flash in, it seems.
Yeah, but he didn't get anything for it. In fact, they're even going to get the stun back here onto Neon, who's used the cleanse to try and get away. Limit now stunned up with the concussive blows. There's no heal for him. And Limit is just dead in the bottom lane. He flashed double knock, and Neon might go down. He has to flash away. Oh my goodness, it's an awful start. It's an awful start for Schalke.
So Limit flashes in, but he has Phase Rush and he uses it to get out. But he takes a lot of damage because he doesn't have the Aftershock. I think Ashe Braum is actually a good response to the Alistar in particular.
I agree.
Because when he combos in, you can always turn the fight. You saw it there, he gets a double knock-up. Yes, that's great, but Braum level 1 is insanely strong. So turns that fight, I think that was just a mistake going in there for the level 1 trade against something like a Braum. When you're playing Alistar without the headbutt, you only have the Pulverize. So they are going to lose all their summoners in the bot side.
So I think that Kai'Sa, early levels with Hail of Blades and her passive is also very strong. But was the Guardian? Yeah, the Guardian, I think, also just makes it so much harder for you to just commit to this all in. Yes, it's a very nice double knockup, but Neon can't actually close the gap between him and Rekkles, which means that they can't get onto Rekkles, they can't one-shot him, they don't feel confident enough to dive onto Mikyx, which means that now Limit with no flash ends up just getting run down by the combined utility of Ashe Braum.
Yeah, too many slows coming out of the Braum and the Ashe and the stuns and the exhaust. There is no real escape there for Limit once he flashed in. Does end up falling. Rekkles gets the first blood. They push in the second wave. They base. Rekkles is coming back to bot lane with double longsword. Jankos is here though. Abbedagge has Ghost, he pops it, he has the bubble as well. There's a top wave stacking, maybe look for a dive here.
Yeah, looking to try and kill off Wunder, decimate down, Wunder down to about 100 HP and he's ticking. Paddle Star put in the face as Abbedagge picks up Schalke's first kill of the game.
And if you saw Jankos' player cam there, he was laughing, he knew Wunder was dead, he was not having any of that. That was so funny to see. So Schalke do pick up a kill and they're playing towards the Darius, which is important. Limit though.
Trying to get the knockback here onto Caps, but Caps isn't going to tank. Here's the TP. I think Abbedagge and BrokenBlade are going to join this fight.
Another TP.
Has to try and flash away, but Caps is already dead. BrokenBlade will join the fray at the end. Schalke with a good TP play there to pick up the mid laner from G2.
Yeah, very good early game from Abbedagge. Gets the early prow, goes top, TP's mid and gets another kill.
Yeah, I think that what Schalke is doing in this early game is good. A little over-aggressive, I would say, from Limit, but something that we often see from him is that when he's unlocked on this Alistar specifically, we know he likes to make plays. I like the roam up to mid. They saw that Caps wanted to push in mid so that he could reset, but instead they end up getting that kill onto him. So very well played by Schalke. Now they find themselves back in the gold lead.
Yeah, it was really good for Abbedagge as well because he was able to base before TPing in. That's crucial. He could pick up his item before TPing back to the play. So now he has these lucidity boots. He can move around the map really quickly. So when these waves stack on side lanes like this big G2 bot wave, he should be able to collapse first with Caps on no TP. But for now, G2 have full control of this bot side of the map. I think Schalke's win condition is the top side anyway, right?
I
You need
agree.
to get the Darius ahead.
I very much agree, and you can already see Jankos hovering around the bot side of the map. He does have jungle camps spawning like his Raptors and Wolves, so he wants to be pathing top, but for now he's covering because he recognizes that mid does not have priority.
Yep.
He realizes that Caps can't offer any support, he doesn't have the teleport either, so Jankos is kind of taking the sacrifice for the sake of his bot lane.
Yeah, and covering these lanes is all good and dandy because it helps them out, but look at the XP difference. Jankos are leveled down. He's down around 3 camps right now. And Gilius is coming out of base. Surprised to see Gilius' items. Normally, the Udyr's Rush, Lucidity Boots, or some kind of boots item first. He has got the tier 1 boots, but not as much move speed as Jankos with the tier 2 boots. So he will clear faster, but he will be later to plays, which could be important later on. We'll have to see how the game progresses. But I think Schalke's win condition is this top side of the map. And Abbedagge with the boots early and with his 2 kills should be able to push in the wave and cover both of his side lanes.
What's really interesting is you talked about that experience difference between the junglers. This was something that when the whole debate around G2 at Worlds last year was that they can't play carry junglers, it had nothing really to do with Jankos' ability to play the champions. It very much has how a team, Jankos often covers for his laners. His Caps is getting very aggressive onto Abbedagge.
Here's the shockwave. Abbedagge has to flash away, but Caps with his flash follow-up. Control ward in the bush will stop Caps from getting the final autos down, but Caps had some fancy feet there as Abbedagge has to flash away.
Oh, look, the whole family's here. Schalke, Limit and Gilius both covering for mid, flashing for Mikyx.
Yeah, immediately Mikyx knows that he can go in here for Neon, but Neon does have the cleanse, will get himself back underneath the tower, and even through the exhaust should be able to survive. Abbedagge gets heal, now has the flash back up, and Caps is going to pull flashes away. Abbedagge channeling his inner faker right there.
Yeah, Limit's roaming to mid and is here first, even though he's getting pushed in bot. You saw Neon almost got punished for it, but he respected it enough with the cleanse, and now Limit should get back down here to cover Neon on this stacking wave with Gilius next to him, a level up. And Limit's just been so impressive on these mid roams. He's there first before Mikyx, even if Mikyx has the push.
You have to give credit to Neon as well, surviving in the 2v2. We saw how much G2 were trying to invest onto it. Gilius just trying to get the wave away from this frozen state as Rekkles and Mikyx now push in. Jankos doesn't have the onslaught of shadows yet, as we said. That early disadvantage costing him those levels. Mikyx looking for the stun here. Limit, though, will be the first to fall in the fight. Just about taken out by Rekkles. Gilius running forward. Doesn't have the mana to land that bear stance. And Rekkles still on the chase here with the volley. Abbedagge working his way down from the mid lane. Neon tries to turn it back around, but he can't quite get the Neon! Neon with the redemption! Abbedagge just in range. Now Rekkles has to flash away. The paddle star will find its mark. Abbedagge can't quite get the damage down. But in the end, Schalke win out on the bot lane play.
So much action, such a flip from what we had in game 1. Schalke definitely coming to play, and a lot of this coming off the back of Limit and Neon answering with some of the plays that G2 is trying to make. Limit ready to flash in, ready to turn this play around, and when we watch the replay, we can get more into how everything broke down, because like, I would argue that G2 was in a good position. I think that they could have frozen the wave and they could have just left it at that, but instead they tried to go for more kills, and Limit ends up getting the punish.
Yeah, look at Limit again. He's moved towards the top side. He has these Lucidity boots. Bot wave's good because Abbedagge is pushing it in. And like you said, the replay, let's have a look at it. The bot wave is frozen. The whole fight here for Schalke is to crash the wave. Gilius goes aggressively. He knows he can't get a kill here. He just wants to push in the wave, but the problem is, once it's pushed in, G2 hold it. They hold it in their face, and Limit knows he has to turn.
And now we're looking for a fight in the mid lane as Limit's trying to get that stun onto Mikyx. Abbedagge coming in from the side as well. And looks like the fight won't continue much longer, but it's been such an explosive early game, and it's really counterintuitive to how Schalke have played the rest of their season. Usually they are a little bit slower as Jankos is going to step forward here, but yeah, usually it's G2 who are the faster team. G2 who are the team getting those gold leads, where Schalke are trying to weather the storm and then get towards these late game team fights.
A lot of it is just off the back of Limit. I think that he's taking advantage of the fact that it's much easier for him to roam and impact the map as Jankos now goes in.
Onslaught of Shadows used. Gilius does not have the flash. It's just off cooldown. He can't get away. Rekkles now 4-0 on this Ashe. And Jankos is on the chase. The arrow available for Rekkles, as you say. Shockwave, stopwatch. Abbedagge still underneath the tower is going to try and jump his way around with a portal jump, but the ball is there. Straight in the face of Abbedagge, and now G2 find 2 quick kills in that bot side jungle.
Maybe Schalke can collapse. Neon has a killer instinct, but BrokenBlade doesn't have something like the Ghost to catch up. Doesn't even have boots, so Mikyx just hits a Q on him, and he has to back off. It looks like Wunder will be nice and sitting down in his top side, a level up. 20 CS up as well, getting plating.
BrokenBlade too, yeah.
BrokenBlade trying to collapse on his play, doesn't get there in time, and you would think that BrokenBlade would be more ahead after the level 3 dive, can get TP advantage, but Abbedagge does get up here in time to fix the wave. They don't lose too much, and G2 so playing so fantastically, just punishing the face check from Gilius.
So, 10 minutes in, we're at 10 kills, right? This is very much what we expected coming into this series, and Game 2 is definitely delivering. But again, I really want to emphasize what Limit has been doing. The thing is, in terms of the straight-up 2v2, Braum into Ashe, I definitely give them the advantage. But I think that Alistar has so much more impact when you end up roaming around the map because of how you can set up plays. And Limit, a few times now, has gone into Raptors, and then Hex Flash over the wall onto a flashless Orianna, and any mid-lane mage will tell you that it's impossible to play against that.
Support diff.
Exactly. Support diff is resulting in jungle. He's like a second jungler just permanently in mid lane, which is where Schalke have gotten a lot of their advantage. But G2 did not want to give up. They answer with some kills of their own, and now we're in a relatively even state.
Yeah, and Limit to me, he's giving me almost like Hylissang vibes in the way that he's playing. He's been playing so impressively, maybe not so much in the lane phase, but just roaming, like you said. So Limit just hit level 6 and the waves keep pushing in. It feels like Limit leaves the lane when the wave's in a good state for Neon. Either it's a bounce so he can either last hit, or it's pushing into him so he can freeze it.
Importantly though, looking across some of these lanes, you have to look at where the gold has gone. Abbedagge picked up those couple of early kills. However, he's at a CS disadvantage, 2 caps. So gold in that mid lane is actually in favor of the G2 man. Rekkles 4-0-0 as we see a fight happening in the top lane. Wunder tried to trade against BrokenBlade and Gilius. Wunder doesn't really have anywhere to go here. Flashes over the wall with the decimating smash. Got a bit of alcove gaming, and BrokenBlade will bring down the guillotine. The arrow goes wide. Wunder in the zombie form comes back from the death as he got his head chopped off, but won't be able to do too much more.
Yeah, G2 pushed in bot, and they went for a full lane swap. It seems 11 minutes on the clock, plating's falling off in 3, and the Herald is up. So G2 want to make sure that they can secure that before they do fall. As Dragon's dead, right? Yeah, bot lane power, you want to move, and Gilius is going in.
What is this? Schalke just continually going on the front foot. This is actually not how they play it at all during the regular season. They are forcing G2 away. However, G2 are willing to answer. They have that Sion ultimate. They can engage if they want. It's a 5v5 brawl here in the top side river. Limit trying to step forward. Decimating smash doesn't quite land. Gilius there with a stun. The paddle star goes wide. Patience on Shirley very low as that Rift held might reset, but here we go. The knock-up, Mikyx already dead. Rift held secured for G2, and Schalke will not be willing to run away from this one. They're trying to chase Wunder down. He uses the unstoppable onslaught to get himself away. Heal out Gilius. Flash, stun, straight onto Wunder, and now even the decimating smash won't save him. Wunder dies once again. Jankos stunned up. There's a sleepy trouble bubble there for them as well as Wunder tries to use the zombie to do as much as he can. Rekkles snipes him across the wall. Schalke managed to pick up a couple of kills, but they did lose the Herald.
Ends up being a 2-for-1 in favor of Schalke, and Caps will get some plates off in the mid lane, but wow, what a brawl. I think the G2 wanted to play for the Herald because the sooner they can break up in these towers, the sooner they can remove the laning phase from Darius and hurt his impact in the 1v1. But Schalke, of course, answer. Limit does not get the optimal engage off, and then you have this dance of mid laners as the rest of the team start to regroup around the objective.
Yeah, Limit misplaying the engage there, and Schalke play this smartly. They know they want to reset the Herald, but Wunder and Mikyx go way too deep. I think they're trying to stop Gilius from being able to steal it because he's right next to the Herald, so they walk forwards, but the rest of the G2 walks backwards. Rekkles on the Herald.
Limit with a knocker.
Yeah, the double knockup was clutch. Wunder just tries to run with the ultimate with the flash, but Schalke's chase was good. I just think they over-chased.
I think Caps also had to appreciate that if he tried to come in from the flank, he'd get collapsed on, and now it's G2 on the collapse.
Arrow lands onto Gilius, nowhere for him to go. Rekkles has 6 kills so far this game, and he's looking for more as Neon is forced to flash away across the wall. And as much as like Schalke have been taking it to G2, they've been getting these kills, they've been getting these fights. G2 got all 5 plates on the mid lane tower with that Herald charge during that replay. Rekkles is now going to get another couple of plates here in the top lane. G2 are getting gold leads. They are 2,500 gold ahead right now. And look at Rekkles. He's 1,200 gold ahead of Neon.
Yeah, Neon has the most kills on Schalke. Rekkles has double his kills. G2 only have 7. Rekkles has 6. No assists. He's been last hitting everything. They got 1 plate in bot. Looks like they're going to get 5 plates in top.
Wow, and like I really want to go back to what Caps did in that last fight, because by making the choice to get the 2 plates in mid, he then set up for the Herald play, which then allowed him to get all this gold and open up the map even more. So huge props to the decision making from G2, because even after some of these brawls have not been going in their favor, you've got Captain Consistent in the bot lane that just seems to not be able to die. The question is, will he end up dying in this game?
Neon
diving in onto Mikyx. Rekkles kind of abandoned his support here. Mikyx's going to flash away. And Neon did burn the killer instinct for that. Mikyx able to get himself out towards the safety of the tower.
Look at the mid lane as well, though. Abbedagge roaming around the map so much. He's down 30 CS to Caps, even though he was getting ganks and they were winning the 2v2s, the 3v3s with Limit moving up. He's actually lost a lot of creeps in all these fights, so that's going to hurt him the later the game goes. Limit going in. Wunder has the ult to escape, though.
Importantly, BrokenBlade picked up a couple of kills in those last 2 fights, and with the guillotine, tries to chop down Wunder. BrokenBlade tanks up the tower for a long time. Wunder actually might be able to take out Gilius here, who will just about be able to get away with that bear stance. BrokenBlade now 2-0-3 on this Darius.
Yeah, that dive looked a little bit dodgy. Looked like they might trade 1-for-1. I think Schalke could have just made the Alistar tank and use the ultimate. But committing 3 members to shut down the Sion is not what you want. You want to get something out of these kills. Wunder doesn't mind dying. No matter what, he's going to buy Ruby Crystals, and he's going to be a frontliner. He's a walking health bar this whole game with a little bit of CC. So shutting him down doesn't do too much. All they got was a kill. They didn't even get the tower.
Wunder has watched a lot of BoW streams. I'm very confident he knows how to play. If anything, he's in his comfort zone right now, sitting at 0-4. And that's the obnoxious thing about a Sion. You can always have pressure, even when utilizing your passives. As we set up now for the second Drake of the game.
Yep, second Drake of the game. We'll have to see what soul it is after this one falls. Schalke has the first G2 have one for themselves now. It's going to be an Ocean Soul, but still 3 dragons away for either team. So at least 30 minutes on the clock before we will see an Ocean Soul come out, but G2 controlling the spots out of the map. Arrow goes out.
Arrow connects once again, and you can see Abbedagge really doesn't have anywhere to go. Rekkles goes godlike. The reverse bond here, 7-0-0 on that Ashe.
Yeah, G2 are playing so well around the vision. They've punished Schalke for so many face checks. Abbedagge is face checking his own jungle on the first bush at 15 minutes into the game, and he's getting punished for it, so he gets taken down. And now G2 look like they want to collapse towards the top side. Schalke have enough pinks and vision to actually spot them out, and they're smartly going to decide to back off.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a great demonstration of how you play around numbers, right? Like, G2 are just constantly leaving Wunder on the weak side and then collecting as a 4, and then using their pick power to just punish whenever Schalke try and walk into an area of the map that just does not belong to them. They now know that Caps has teleport. They've sent him off into the bot lane, and now look, you can see that Jankos is hovering around top, going to clear out his top side Caps. They can look to play through top if they want to, because I believe that there is still another Herald that should be spawning, unless I've missed the second Herald.
Spawns in. Yeah, it
soon.
should spawn soon. Yeah, I was looking at the.
I was looking at the timer and I was like, am I the one that's wrong?
No, that's bad. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it spawns in soon.
But yeah, they can then set up for the, or they can just look for more fights in the bot lane.
Limit's going to put the Unbreakable Will to start us off. Caps is here, has the Shockwave. It's a 4v3 in favor of Schalke right now. But what are they playing for? Like, what are you fighting for at the moment down here? There's no dragon. You're not getting prio in mid or in top lane while all of this is happening. And G2, after pushing out those side waves, the side wave and the mid wave, now can all group up down here and look for their 4th tower of the game.
I love what G2 are doing here. They're playing into the Darius. Darius is on the side lane. Let's send members into that lane so we push him out. And the only thing Schalke can do is respond by putting numbers themselves, but they lose the team fight. If they start a team fight, this Ashe is 7-0-0, 2 items.
Oh,
17 minutes.
Over steps, Limit goes in, the apprehend, shut down on the cow is not really the target you want it to go to, but Schalke will take whatever they can get right now. G2 able to walk away with the rest of their players.
Yeah, really good pick from Schalke. They managed to catch out Caps. G2 looking for more here, but the problem is, the thing I want to look at here is Schalke are losing so many waves with these fights. Abbedagge is down 40 CS, Neon's down 10.
Here we go.
They know they're here, they know they're in this bush.
Here we go, Limit going in, looking for the knock-up, and the dive is in. Killer Instinct goes out from Neon, there's the shutdown. A Rekkles has died alongside him. Mikyx pays for that play with his life.
Baron?
Schalke find 2 kills, as you say. Baron, Caedrel, I wonder why you haven't made playoffs before. We're only 18 minutes into the game. Rift Herald is up, but we're a little bit apprehensive for Baron there, mate.
Okay. I'm going to be honest, every time you get an ace like that, it feels like you always want to question Baron. Yes, it's down. My bad. It's not up.
We've all been there.
Swiftly moving on, though, from the Caedrel playoffs meme joke. Good one, guys. I haven't heard that one before. This ward was crucial.
Wards save lives. It's just
Wards
fact.
take 'em.
Yeah, and there was no sweeper to come through from G2. This is a play that they've been doing a lot this game, either grouping up as either a 3 or 4 man unit and looking for picks. And Schalke, really good punish on the bot side of the map, and this gave a lot of gold. Unfortunately, the shutdown did go onto the Udyr, which would have been nicer onto the Darius, of course, but still, the stride breaking completed. That Darius continuing to get strong.
That's the thing that hurts, right? Although that fight was great by Schalke, BrokenBlade TP'd in and got nothing. Not even an assist. He got absolutely nothing. He just based and lost his top wave on his tier 2. So BrokenBlade is the win condition in a sense for this team. Yes, the Kai'Sa and Zoing being ahead is always going to make it nicer for wave clear, contesting 3v3s, but Darius split push, the pressure point on the map, and threatening the backline is what you need. But Schalke do end up picking some kills, only around 2,000 gold down now, 1,500 gold down, and they're contesting some vision. So I wouldn't be surprised to see another fight around this dragon in 1 minute 20, or the Herald that just spawned, Vedius.
Looking at this Herald right now, and Limit has his eyes set on the AD carry. Rekkles does have his flash up, didn't use it in the last little skirmish, same for Caps. A lot of items have now been completed. Orianna going to go back to base, spend that money. I imagine going to upgrade into the Seraphs. Oh, not quite actually, has enough money yet, but will TP and join the fray. And I think Schalke have to respect that they are weaker right now. They do not have the same itemization, but it looks like that's not going to stop them.
Well, Rekkles has 2 items right now. The Phantom Dancer already complete. Here goes Limit going back. Jankos trying to get in, and Limit's knocked up straight away. The upper hand only lands onto Mikyx. Limit stunned down to about a third of his HP, and Rekkles just opens up with the Ranger's focus. There's the shockwave. BrokenBlade knockback gets the kill onto Mikyx, but now the chase is really on. Gilius has nowhere to go. G2 pick up 3 quick kills.
Yeah, super well played from G2, punishing Schalke, overextending again. Gilius tries to find the engage, but doesn't have the flash. Limit, it felt like he was CC'd for an absolute eternity there. He couldn't even get his combo off, so there was no re-engage for the side of Schalke. They were forced to run away. Yes, BrokenBlade picks up a kill, but G2 definitely winning out that fight. I think they'll get the Drake for that as well.
I think the Braum Ashe combo is just, it's so devastating in these extended fights and how easy it is for G2 to be able to apply them. And G2 now, they're in a great position. They sit with a 2.5k gold lead. Rekkles is completing his second item, working towards the third. Let's have a look back at how this fight played out.
Yeah, Gilius trying to find the engage. He doesn't have the flash to make the engage happen though, but look at Limit. He's on the front line, knock up, stunned, has the ultimate up. Then he gets stunned again. And then he gets stunned again. Yeah. And he can't actually engage or re-engage, so that leaves BrokenBlade as your front line. Yes, he picks up Mikyx. Look at Mikyx's health bar. He just gets dunked straight away. So the Darius pick is very strong against these tanks, but in the end, Schalke just lose the fight.
And Neon, he can't approach the fight because he doesn't have a front line to play around. And like they had a similar issue in game 1 where they relied on Limit to act as that front line. And while Udyr is like a strong champion, he doesn't act as the same sort of tanky frontline utility thing that something like a Sion or a Hecarim can do because of the amount of utility that they just inherently bring in their kit, which means that it's harder for Neon to play the fights, which means that it's harder for Schalke to play these fights, which means that unless the Darius gets very strong, like their win condition just needs to be either finding picks onto G2 or getting a fight where they're out of position and maybe they can split G2 apart and maybe they can try and shut down Rekkles before he can really be unleashed on the fight.
Yeah, it's all about these team fights. Limit has been playing fantastically on engages in the 3v3s and the skirmishes. He just needs to find the engages in team fights. And if you look at Schalke, I think the last 5 games they played, barring the Cartas game, they've had Hecarim on their team. Gilius has always been picking up Hecarim, and that just solidifies a lot of engage next to your support. But now the Hecarim's being taken away from them both games, it feels like Schalke don't really have that last piece of the puzzle to get the fight started. It's all on Limit. It's all on this Alistar.
And it's so difficult for Limit to find those engages. Has the Turbo Chem Tank complete now, though? Looks for the flank. Here comes BrokenBlade. Shockwave's gonna land. Limit down to half HP already. Neon dives onto Cabs on the backline. TP coming in from G2. And now Neon is in the total wrong position. Wunder charges in with the unstoppable onslaught. Cabs stepping forward and Rekkles can open up. He's untouched. Look at that Ashe as he just rips through Schalke. Nothing that they can do because the Ashe is untouched for the entirety of the fight.
Oh,
and
no,
now Neon, I'm sorry, my man, but in a 5v1, I know which odds I'm gonna take. G2 every day of the week. weak. Neon will delay for as long as he can, but with no flash, no ult, no hope of surviving. He's going to waste a ton of time, as you say, Vedi, but in the end, he will be shut down by Caps.
Wow, a huge team fight once again for G2. It looked good for Schalke. It seemed that they had caught Jankos out. The G2 did not have the best setup in the moment that Neon dived onto Caps. I thought that he was just going to get that solo kill, but the flash came through from Caps. He was able to disengage, regroup with his team, and then when G2 could play the front to back, that means that Schalke have no answer.
Yeah, to me, Wunder just clutched that fight with his ultimate. I think he hit 4 people and delayed them for so long, but BrokenBlade's found Mikyx.
BrokenBlade on the chase. Looking for more damage, already used the Stride Breaker. Wunder once again. He's a beefcake. He's a tank. Not really much you can do against this Sion. He can whittle away at him, but he doesn't take too much damage either. Decimating Smash. It's flashed away there by Abbedagge. It was a flash on his passive rather than his own flash, because that's still on cooldown.
Yeah, but look at the items. Abbedagge doesn't even have his second item yet. He's building towards the Void Staff, but Caps has 2. But looking back on this replay, I want to keep your eyes on Wunder. I mean, Gilius and Limit, they're baiting here because BrokenBlade's around. They know that they can start the fight. Abbedagge has TP. Yes, they catch Jankos. Yes, Caps gets caught out by Neon. But here comes the bounce with the TP and then with the ultimate.
Really nice engage from Wunder. Just knocks up 2. Limit flashes in once again, but there's no follow-up. He's just soaking up damage. Tanks are OP. Oh, his shield from the Orianna as well completely mitigates the ultimate from BrokenBlade. If BrokenBlade gets that execute, there's a world where I could see the Darius 1v9 the fight, but unfortunately for him, too much utility, too much support, and G2 end up coming out on top once again.
Yeah, and look at Rekkles' items as well. 23 minutes in, picked up the Infinity Edge, 3-item Ashe. 9, 1, and 3, and now G2 want to play towards the top side. Dragon in 1 minute 40, but getting some top side vision around the Baron, making sure the Schalke has to contest, they have to face check, and then you can look for these things with the arrows, with the Hecarim. Schalke trying to catch them out, but Schalke are playing very aggressive here. They're very far up in the river. If G2 want to collapse, they can decide to do so, and I think they might look for an engage here.
Limit doesn't have a way to get away from this. Pops the Unbreakable Will. The arrows already connected. There's the Decimating Smash.
Oh, he can't play the game!
He just can't move! Oh, that's so unlucky for Limit. Really nothing he can do. Not tanky enough. Doesn't have the Aftershock. Doesn't have a flash. Doesn't have Merc Treads. No tenacity and no life for the cow. G2 immediately turn over their eyes towards the Baron. Rekkles sitting with 10 kills in his back pocket as the Baron has been begun. Gilius doesn't have flash here. Mikyx going to be the front man, the bouncer, trying to keep Gilius out of the after parties. Schalke try and step forward, but that Baron's already down to 2,000 HP. And it is Dunzo, almost stolen away by Abbedagge, but couldn't quite get taken out of G2's pocket.
Yeah, the second Limit dies. There's really no one that can walk up and contest this Baron. You get hit by one Braum Q as Udyr or Darius, you already have to run away. There's way too much zone control, way too much CC on this G2 composition, and they have the front line to start the Baron and tank it up as long as they need to. So Baron for G2, and now they're probably going to look towards the Dragon. Schalke are trying to make a pick again. They did this before in the top side of the map. BrokenBlade hovering behind his carry, and if G2 decide to go too far deep into catching out Neon, then maybe Caps could get caught out.
Caps has been caught out a few times this game, once in the bot lane from the Fnatic Brush, and perhaps once again here in top lane. But Lotus, Caps is respecting. He's playing very deep into his own lane. He realizes that his team is nowhere near him, and his priority is making sure that he's in a position where he can TP. And he realizes, I think that ward may have even spotted him out with the blue trinket that BrokenBlade is in fact hovering on top. Yep. And he realizes that there's the real risk of Limit looking for a dive here as well.
Yeah, Schalke need to base soon though. It's all good and dandy to look for a pick on the side lane when they have Baron, because you need to stop the siege, but the siege is about to begin, so Neon's probably going to take this tower in base. Maybe Caps can try to cancel him and play around with him a bit, but he doesn't have the vision to do so. So 2 towers for Schalke in the end. So that's pretty good, but they have to stop the siege of the Baron.
Inhibitor tower, the target here for G2. Neon backing away, Caps looking for the stop. Neon actually looking in for the killer instinct. The shockwave available for Caps, but he misses! Neon sidesteps it, and in the 1v1, Neon almost comes out clutch. But Caps is having none of it. Caps takes the kill, G2 take the inhibitor, and Wunder goes unstoppable. He's charging in for the win. He wants this game to be over with.
Where's he going?
And he's charging
Diesel.
Look, the question mark face coming out from Jankos.
Apple Maps these days instead of Google Maps, putting the wrong coordinates on his GPS. Mikyx gets guillotined, and now G2 may just have to back away. Wunder's rejoined the fight, rejoined his team. Gonna get apprehended, and he was in the middle of a decimating smash there. Decimate comes out from BrokenBlade as well. The paddle start. BrokenBlade will have the ult reset. Clean. The dodge with the stride breaker, but the gargoyle stone
another one
is just too enough.
Yeah, too many shields for BrokenBlade to break through. They almost got another kill onto onto Wunder, but the kill onto Mikyx stops the siege, and Neon's play on top, you have to respect it. If he was able to outplay Caps there and get a kill, that could have been huge for Schalke.
Oh my words. Wunder. All right, he was trolling. Let's just be honest. He was trolling his team. You could see the emotes from Jankos. I'm sure even the player cams Jankos turned it. Look, he's stretching. Look at him. He just
takes his hand off the keyboard and says, "Alexa, take me to top tower."
Yeah.
And then Sion just dripped him up there.
He thinks he's driving a Tesla over here. He's just
I'm looking for Azeroth. Can anyone find Azeroth for me?
Oh man, yeah, G2, they know that they have this game in the bag. The gold lead is about 5k, but it just feels like from a comp perspective, how does Schalke really win? Like, we've already talked so much about how they're limited in terms of their engage, but then even when they do get the engage, G2 just play this front-to-back comp, so you have to get through the front line of G2. We've already seen how unkillable Wunder is, and then you have to get onto this back line of Rekkles, who then has all this peel from
here comes Vin Diesel again.
Too fast,
too
furious, and he finds the connection onto BrokenBlade, but the rest of the team aren't really there to follow up. Wunder looking for the slows here as Mikyx will join the fight. Apprehend coming out. Wunder might just have to flash the wall. He does before Limit can land that headbutt pulverize combo. Super minions in the mid lane will keep Schalke penned back in their own base for the moment as G2 group up as 5 in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I'm going back to Vedius' point. You're absolutely right. The Schalke comp has pure single target damage and only one form of engage, so getting past the front line's hard enough, but against spells like the Sion, the Hecarim, the Orianna, it's even harder to step up to start contesting the front line, let alone kill them.
Oh, TP. Here we go. BrokenBlade.
Rekkles is in base.
Rekkles is in base. He can't join the fray, but only 2 players from Schalke are here, and BrokenBlade already down to half HP. There's the kind of instinct in from Neon. The sleep's gonna land only onto Mikyx. Jankos stunned up. The shockwave hits 1. G2 able to back away. The arrow still connects onto Limit as here comes another apprehend. Oh, the
what?
Sleep, the gargoyles, the shields, not enough, shut down. And now BrokenBlade can really open up with those successive guillotines. Limit is down. Wunder able to help kill BrokenBlade, and Rekkles has joined the fray, but a little bit too late. He's shut down. Abbedagge and Neon can push forward. It's 2v2. Mid laner and AD carry versus mid laner and jungler. Abbedagge goes it alone. Neon's going to join the fight. Abbedagge flashes away, and the Acathian rains hell upon Jankos. Schalke find a fight in the bot side.
And what's crazy is this whole fight started because of this single ward. This one right here, sitting by the blue buff, because G2 had no idea that Schalke had this much information and they saw Rekkles resetting. The fact that he wasn't around meant that they could actually get this engaged. And look, he's going back to base here, right? They're going to spot him out. Meanwhile, Caps gets interrupted because he's sitting on top of this vision ward, and Schalke's like, oh wait, we have all the information we need. We have a deep TP flank. Then the engage begins.
Yeah, and Rekkles is in base, that's crucial, so they go for the engage, and like we said, it's hard to kill the front line because they can kite back, and they have a lot of AoE spells, the shockwave, it's so hard to walk into these chokes, they have to respect it. The Ashe Hour from downtown is really huge, but Wunder gets caught out, and he eventually falls, but look, his passive does the job as well. Not only does he tank up all the damage, but he goes into his passive form, and BrokenBlade gets the reset. He wants to do the fight, but Wunder just bullies him and takes him out of the fight. You have to imagine if BrokenBlade could get onto the backline, it would be over, but Schalke still win the fight. It's a 3-for-3 and a 2v2.
The second that Schalke get rid of the front line, that's when Neon and Abbedagge really get unlocked and can start dishing out this damage. And I think G2, they were having a bit of fun earlier. They felt like that the game was won.
Abbedagge shockwave. Caps just looking for the auto attacks. The Everfrost comes out. Neon dives in. Caps able to flash away and get the kill. And now Neon is on his lonesome. The arrow connects here, but the sleep was walked through there by Rekkles. He does have the flash. Turbo Chemton coming out from Gilius, looking for the chase here. That's a very speedy bear. Flash, bear, slap, TP coming out from G2, and Gilius is already down. Rekkles with his 500th playoff kill. Wunder coming in, and the pain train is not stopping at the Schalke station. G2 able to pick up another couple in this top lane fight, and all that came from Abbedagge being in the shop just a little too long.
Yeah, Schalke chasing again for the kills. They have to find something. There's 1 minute on the Dragon. You have to argue if they could get some kind of fight, they could have contested this Ocean Soul, but G2 turn it. They win the fight. The TP comes in. Rekkles even has flash in case he needed to use it. Abbedagge's up in 5 seconds though. The waves are coming in. They have a bot wave and a mid wave. Maybe G2 want to look to end, but still, 20 seconds on Neon. That's the most crucial part of Schalke.
This game has been a Rekkles show. 14-2-6, 500 kills in the LEC playoffs as G2 look to go 2-0 up in this series. Schalke really can't do too much about it. Gilius stepping forward, but he is back to the fountain. The Nexus the target in a moment because G2 can taste a little steak on the menu. Limit shockwaved. And how now, Brown Cow? He's down. BrokenBlade next. Neon the last one standing. And after all the kills are secured, G2 secure the Nexus.
Oh, That game was a bloodbath compared to the first one. So many more kills, so many more chaotic fights. I feel like G2 dropped the ball a little bit towards the end, but they were able to clean it up off the back of a huge play from Caps. And it feels like that there are no weaknesses in this team. Every time you think that you found an opportunity, they instantly come right back.
Yeah, what more is there to say, honestly? Like, G2 is just... It feels like they're having fun. I think in those fights I was hearing screams as well. They were having so much fun on this top lane fight. Vin Diesel's drifting around the rift. Wunder's chilling so hard. I don't know, honestly. And I think Schalke's draft, it was good for the early game. Yes, they found engages in mid from Limit moving up, but it just wasn't enough.
I mean, what's crazy to me is when we think of G2, we never think of front-to-back teamfight comps. This style of comp is never where you associate them. But look at how well they're playing this now. Seems like Captain Consistent in the bot lane, Mr. Rekkles, has definitely added a lot when it comes to playoffs in these teams.
Definitely had a great performance. G2 are now on match point in this series, and Treatz and Crownshot will take a look at the bot lane matchup right after this.
Truck and I whip like this, and now they know I'm up cause my wrist like this. No, I can't get enough cause I'm sick like this, yeah. I've been through too much just to live like this. I've been through too much just to live like this. I fill my pockets till they stuff so they fit like this. I've been through too much just to live like this, like this.
Welcome back to the LEC studio. Our reigning champions have dominated the series so far. They are just one win away from a spot in the next round. Now, that was a very exciting game to watch. And I'm going to start by talking about the draft. We were anticipating some shenanigans. I didn't expect the insta-lock Darius. I was surprised to see the Zoe. And I think it was the Zoe that surprised me the most because it kind of worked. I felt Schalke playing around mid lane a lot. I saw some roams, some kills working out, a cheeky redemption here or there. But what did you make of the draft, Treatz?
Yeah, I think in general, Schalke definitely had a more aggressive draft. That's what we wanted for them to change for game 2. I think they did get a lot of kills from mid lane, which snowballed the game in their favor. It just felt like they weren't quite there, but I think they put up a good fight around mid this time around at least.
Yeah, it definitely felt that way. Crownshot, when I turn to you, how does it feel if you're Schalke 04, you ban 5 AD carries, somehow give Rekkles Ashe, and then he has that performance?
Well, obviously it feels bad, right? I mean, I think what they should do is, because they're getting early leads, right? And they're getting good fights early, but their team comps just get outscaled both games now. So maybe if they just pick a bit more scaling and still rely on their individual outplays to get early leads, maybe they'll find an easier time. Because even though the Zoe got ahead, she really can't do too much against a Sion who is extremely tanky, a Braum blocking all of her skill shots, and well, Rekkles is just playing with ice in his veins, I guess. He's very scary. But yeah, I think they're doing some good things, but I think they might need a bit more scaling.
Crownshot, that bot lane matchup, I know you were talking a lot about it. The Kai'Sa Alistar was first rotation 1-2 on red side and then immediately coming into the Ashe Braum. We've got some clips on your screen. I mean, talk me through what you're seeing because you kind of predicted this, right, when we're looking at drafts.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I guess the limit flash here is a bit bizarre because they don't win. Also, they have cleanse against heal, which means you always lose extended fights, right? And also they're playing red side, which generally you want to play safe bot lane early game, and they just well, they went for it and it didn't work because I think people forget how strong Braum Ashe is level 1. It's probably the strongest bot lane you can play 2v2 almost, and when the Alistar flashes in and then just gets slowly chased down, it's a huge problem. Then the Ashe gets early kills and, well, yeah, Rekkles is
He's a problem to deal with, isn't that right?
Yeah,
he's definitely a problem to deal with on Ashe. I think, yeah, the Lavon was definitely a mishap from the side of Schalke. I think Limit had some really good roams though to get them back into the game.
Yeah.
They didn't really lane a lot 2v2 after. It was kind of like a 1v1 of Ashe versus the Kai'Sa, but I think, yeah, Schalke has a lot of proactivity, right? They aren't doing too bad on that side. I think I agree with you, Crownshot, that they should add some scaling and make their comp a bit more well-rounded, and I think they can actually pick up a game against G2.
We're talking a lot about what we saw in this game because I think it was a step towards what we wanted to see from Schalke, right? Treatz and Crownshot have said a number of times throughout the broadcast today, don't be passive against G2. You have to take the fight to them. You have to get in their faces. We've got another replay that I want to bring up on the screen. And Treatz, have you talked me through this one? But I kind of like the fact that Schalke were willing to scrap. And we saw that the game was relatively close, but the composition didn't help them out as it played out.
Yeah, I think it's very similar to game 1, where Schalke is feeling forced to take fights where they know that they aren't really advantageous. I think just from the scaling perspective, they have to keep making plays and have to keep being proactive. But their comp doesn't really allow them to even outplay G2, I would say. So I think for the next game, I think they realize this as well, and I think they will have a more stable comp. Maybe add some spice still and make it a bit interesting. But I think they know what they have to do as well, and add some more playmaking on Gilius, I think would be a good starting point.
Well, Treatz, we're on the cusp of a 3-0 in favor of G2. This would make you and Crownshot wrong.
Yep.
Both predicted 3-1s, just as a reminder, okay. With that in mind, and knowing Crownshot was wrong in his prediction yesterday, Schalke have picked blue side for this next game.
Nice.
What are you expecting to see? Because I think we saw a more competitive or a more action-packed game in game 2. Can they do a little bit more and force us to game 4?
Yeah, I mean, I think the blue side is a good pick for them, because I think they want to take away the Hecarim. I think they want Gilius on a more playmaking champion that has more active early game and active playmaking in general, so I think that's what they will look to do. Outside of that, I think Limit's happy playing Alistar. I think he's performing well on the map, even though lane went a bit kaboom in early game this time. But yeah, I think the blue side will be a better pick for them.
Same question to Crownshot. What are you expecting from Schalke? What would you like to see them do to pick up a win?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's for sure going to be a Hecarim first pick, but they might actually do what G2 did and just pick top lane, mid lane, 2-3, and then maybe go for the more spicy bot lane picks that were promised.
Yeah, you promised them. You promised the world them.
No, I said that it might be mind games. I said it might be mind games. But yeah, I think they can try to drop bot lane to 4-5 because when you play blue, right, you see what enemy picks on first two, so then you can respond to what they do. As opposed to red side, when they pick their Kai'Sa, Alistar completely blind, right? So maybe they want to put a bit more freedom into their bot lane, like see a bit more picks before they decide. Maybe that helps them.
Now, of course, for everybody that's watching, I have been like ripping on Crownshot all day. He did not promise that at all. I've straight up lied every single time, so please don't take that as truth. Crownshot, I'm going to stick with you for a moment or two because I think the 5 bans in this game, I think 4 bans in the previous game at the bot lane, definitely targeting out, obviously, Rekkles, but with that Lucian as well. Is that the right way? I mean, it's in Envy. It doesn't matter what you ban against G2 because ultimately every single one of their players is terrifying. But would you consider changing that strategy?
So there's one thing to say, like when you blind a bot lane 1-2, generally there's always going to be a lot of answers to it, right? Because there's so many champions in the game. So I don't think it's even worth to try to ban out players like Rekkles. I remember in like 2019, Vitality also like banned like so many. 2018, I think, banned like 5 AD carries against him, and then he pulls out one he didn't play for like 2 years, and then he still does well. So I think this guy will always be relevant in the game. So I don't think you should target him in draft because he's just always going to be solid. So I think you should take maybe a bit of a different approach. Maybe Schalke might try to play something like Rel as opposed to the Alistar, which is a bit stronger early game, right? Like on early levels, she can fight a bit more. Alistar is a bit more dependent on level 3. So.
Well, Crownshot and Treatz, I'm going to give you one and only one chance to change your votes. Will this be a G2 3-0 or will Schalke win this game? Treatz?
I'm going to stick to my prediction, actually. I think Schalke on blue side can actually swap it up. The Hecarim can do a lot for them, and I'm confident.
Crownshot?
Okay, I'm gonna move to the G2, the Church of G2, and I'm gonna say 3-0.
The Church of G2, I agree. I think it's the right call. I think it's the right call because G2 has the favored son of EU, the face of European League of Legends, the definitive bot laner. Rekkles has tasted success, he's tasted failure. He's defined what the best truly looks like. Today, he's on the precipice of finding yet another win, yet another series victory. This time, it's with G2 Esports. Once an enemy, now he is their champion. Rekkles sitting with 4 titles, 445 games. Kill the lights. Come on, kill the lights. It starts with success. And success is all about growing. Success is about